Emotional thinking is not critical thinking. Biased thinking is not critical thinking. Uninformed thinking is not critical thinking. The person who thinks critically can make informed decisions through reason and evaluation. Welcome to Saturday Morning Coaching with Coach Davis. Lots of people out there want to entertain you. Coach simply wants to help you be successful. This is session number 5 in our series on critical thinking. Want to be successful in life? Then critical thinking is an essential skill that you can learn. Do you remember having a class in how to think when you were in school? I don't. Lots of people tell you what to think, but has anyone worked with you on how to think? Let's supercharge our thinking with standards of thinking excellence. Saturday Morning Coaching begins now. This is our 5th and final session on critical thinking. Coach offers that how I think may be as important as what I think. Said another way, is my thought process more important than my thought conclusions? This could result in us saying that a good process yields good results. After all my years working in factories, I am a big believer in process control. Control the inputs, and you never have to inspect the outputs. Take your favorite food. How often is a bite missing from it because the cook did an inspection of the food before releasing it to you? A taste test is not required because the cook followed the process. A good process yields a good result. In the first session on critical thinking, Edward Bernays was discussed and his use of emotions to drive decisions. He became the creator of current-day public relations. Session 2 was the audit sheet to help you start the journey of becoming more critical, more analytical in your thinking. Next, we worked through the decision-making process, and last week, the traps to critical thinking were shared. Today, we examined some standards, some quality guidelines to enable our critical thinking. Coach encourages you to write down these questions and start using them right now. The first standard of thinking excellence is clarity, getting clear. And the question that helps drive clarity is, could you elaborate more? Could you say some more? Could you give me some more context? Could you give me more details? Clarity. So I'm working with a group right now, and the goal is to become a more effective management team. And after interviewing the entire staff, what I've concluded is clarity is going to be the primary ingredient to change their future. And 11 people are not clear on what the playing field is that they're dealing with. How can you be a critical thinker if you're not clear about the current situation? So, first question, could you elaborate more? This is a great place to start your journey. Second standard, accuracy. The question that helps drive accuracy might look something like, is that really true? Is that really true? This is just a great question for your own mind. Just because somebody says it, or just because it's on the internet, or just because a panel of scientists said so, is that really true? If we look outside today and I say to you, wow, the sky is green, I would want you to say, is that really true? Use your own judgment. Use your own eyes. Use your own thinking. Is that really true? The next standard is about precision. Could you give me more details? Could you give me more details? Let's be more specific. So, could you elaborate more? Is that really true? Could you give me more details? Remember, critical thinking is not emotional thinking. It's about data, relevance. How does that relate to the problem? People can bring you all kinds of stuff, but it's not relevant. So your job as a critical thinker is to ask the question in your own mind, how does that relate to the problem? If it doesn't relate to the problem, That should be a warning flag for you that somebody is trying to get you to make an emotional decision and not be clear in your own thinking. It's your mind. It's your thoughts. Don't just let someone else spoon feed you. Could you elaborate more? Is that really true? Could you give me more details? How does that relate to the problem? Okay, next standard of excellence is depth. What factors make this a difficult problem? Now we're probing deeper. What factors make this a difficult problem? Write them down. Think it out. Talk with people about it. What makes this a difficult problem? How about breadth? So we look deep, now we look wide. Do we need to look at this in other ways? That's a great critical thinking one. So, years ago I had one executive tell me a story about he had a whole bunch of video equipment. It was probably worth multiple thousands of dollars, and he asked one of his staff members to secure it, to protect it. So they had a room in the office, and unfortunately it had big glass windows on it, and they put all the stuff in there. And he said, okay, I need you to protect it. So the guy came back with a quote for a security system for the room, right? Cameras and all that. It was multiple thousands of dollars. Well, the executive looked at him and said, no, we're not spending multiple thousands of dollars. We need to look at the problem in another way. Well, after a few more iterations, the person came back and said, okay, boss, I need $6. $6? How did we go from multiple thousands of dollars to $6? And the person said, I need a can of spray paint. I'm going to spray the windows so nobody can see in. Wow. Looking at the problem in another way. Logic. Does all this make sense together? When I add up all the pieces, is it logical? Do they fit together? What about significance? Is this the central idea to focus on? If people are trying to distract your thinking, just to get you to go along with the crowd, it's your job to say, is this the central idea I should be focusing on? Wow. Wouldn't that really change things? Every day you pick up a newspaper. Is this the central idea I should be focusing on today? Critical thinking. Is this relevant to my life? Critical. What about fairness? This is the last of these 9 standards of excellence. Fairness. Do I have any vested interest in this issue? In other words, if I have something to gain or lose, can my thinking be unbiased? Because remember, biased thinking is not critical thinking. Our job is to be rational and non-emotional so that we make the best decisions possible. Hey, look, you can do emotional thinking all you want. But my guess is after you've had your outburst and you've made your decisions, you wake up some morning and you go, what just happened? What did I do? And now in a calmer, more controlled thought process, you start to do damage control. Our job is to be critical thinkers up front, to be rational thinkers up front. At any rate, 9 standards of excellence for you to consider. Let me review them one more time. Could you elaborate more for clarity? Is that really true for accuracy? Could you give me more details? That's about precision. How does that relate to the problem? That's about relevance. What factors make this a difficult problem? That's about going deeper. Breadth. Do we need to look at this in other ways? Logic. Does all this make sense together? Significance. Is this the central idea upon which to focus? And fairness. Do I have any vested interest in this issue? Now, I know I went through those rather quickly. If you want to do your own deeper dive into critical thinking and really work at perfecting your thought process, I strongly encourage you to go to criticalthinking.org. That's criticalthinking.org. That's a website put together by the Foundation for Critical Thinking. They are one of the few bastions out there that's trying to keep us all good critical thinkers. Coach just wants the best for you and sharpen your mind up and blaze a trail through all of the stuff that's floating out there. Don't take the emotive bait. Be a good critical thinker. These are our days. I'm Coach Davis.